Today I have an electric mason jar vacuum sealer. This is for vacuum sealing mason jars, and quite possibly this is probably the most important thing that you can own. And I'm going to get into why that might be the case. So right here is a mason jar vacuum sealer, and this is used to vacuum seal mason jars. And you're probably wondering, why would I need that? Well, for storing things such as items you open and then you put them back into the pantry or cabinet, they start to deteriorate after you have opened the package. Now, some items come with a seal where you can seal them back, but it does not beat an electronic mason jar vacuum sealer where it sucks more air out of the package or the mason jar, allowing items to last much, much longer. Okay, so with the electronic mason jar sealer, this one right here that I have, it works for both regular mouth mason jars as well as wide mouth mason jars, which makes this very, very special. So with that being said, I'm going to get going to showing you more about the mason jar vacuum sealer, as well as how it performs on various items. So with this electric mason jar vacuum sealer, I have, this is the box that it came in. It says VP05 right here. I'm going to be going over how to charge this, the keystrokes, all of this stuff. Okay, so with this product came lids. Now these lids, if you look closely, there's lines right here where you can put the date. I typically put the date of when the package says that the product is going to expire. And at the top, there is a place where you can put what the item is so you don't forget what it is, because sometimes you may not remember. And you do this by using a Sharpie and putting the label on there, as well as you can put the date down there with a Sharpie. And I'll be going over that as well. So with the electronic mason jar vacuum sealer, this comes with a regular mouth. If you can see right there, it says regular mouth mason jars. This is for putting on regular mouth. And on the side, there is a lock and unlock icon. So this icon is important because when you have the regular mouth mason jar, this has to be turned that way towards the lock. Now, if I unlock it, let me go ahead and show you. Twist it like that and then pull off. And now I'm able to use this for a wide mouth mason jar. And I'm going to get to that momentarily. So I'm going to put this back on. And I'm going to show you the top right here. The power button is at the bottom. And then this right here is the power button, which is a USB-C. This is a USB-C slot right here. And in the box comes a cable that is a USB-C and a USB-A. Now, what you do is you simply plug this in to charge it into the USB-C, and then plug in the USB-C, USB-A, and now it's charging. You see right here, it is charging. Currently, I'm at 97%, which is good enough for this project that I'm doing. It goes all the way up to 100, and there is a blinking light, green light right here, which indicates that it is currently charging. Okay, I'm going to unplug this and get started with vacuum sealing items inside of mason jars. So right here, I'm going to get started with this. This is Oat Bran high fiber hot cereal, and it comes in a package right here. Eat this occasionally, but I want to store it in a way to where it won't oxidize. If you look on the back, it has the date of when it expires. It says best by September 9th, 2025. Okay, so with knowing that, I'm going to label the top, but I'll get to that after I vacuum seal the oat bran. So I open this up, and like I was saying before, you can seal this back, and that keeps oxygen from out of it. But it does not do as well as the vacuum sealer. I'm going to show you. So I'm opening this up. You can see the oat bran inside. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my mason jar, and I believe this is perhaps, I think this is either 12 ounce or this is a 16 ounce. I believe it's a 12 ounce, might be, or 16 ounce mason jar. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and pour in some of the oat bran in here. Now, I'm going to leave some in the package because I will eat this, but I want to save this and keep this as fresh as possible until I get to the point to where I need more oat bran. And then I'll just open this up and eat it or cook it. So I'm going to seal this back up, the bag back up. And once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and take a label. And this mason jar right here is a wide mouth. So I'll get one of the lids that are a wide mouth, and then I'll put this on top. Now, once this is on top, I'm going to go ahead and take the vacuum seal. And remember what I did? I unlocked this, took this off so I can have the wide mouth mason jar vacuum sealer on here. I'm going to simply take this and push down. It clicks into place. There is a rubber gasket. I'll show you with the regular mouth. Rubber gasket right here, which ensures the seal. And so once this is on, I'm just going to simply press this button, and it starts to suck the air out of the mason jar. And it's going to go until enough air is sucked out. And while this is going, I'm going to go ahead and prepare this right here. So I have this right here. I'm going to sit this to the side. And then while that's going, I have a jar of black lentils that I have in a regular mouth mason jar. And I'm going to simply go ahead and label this as black lentils. Let's see, go ahead. Black lentils. It's labeled as black lentils, and it just stopped right here. Didn't use much power, still at 97%. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this off. And while this is off, I'm going to go ahead and get the black lentils lid on here. I put the marking on it beforehand. It doesn't matter if you do it before or after. I'm going to take this, go ahead and put this to the side right here. And then I'm going to take this. And remember, it was open for the wide mouth. I'm going to go ahead and put the regular mouth on here. Lock it into place. You see that line? It's lined into place. Unlock, locked. And then let me put the date on here. Then I am going to put this on top. And then I'm going to find the power button. And it's going to start sucking the air out of that mason jar. And while this is sucking the air out, I'm going to go ahead and take this one. And I am going to actually, what did I do with the, I'm going to go ahead and label this oat bran. So I'm going to go right here, going to put oat bran. And then remember, I had the date on the back, which was 9 September 25. That's when it expires. So put that right there. Actually, that's not the right date. 9/3 September, so 9th month, 3rd day. Put that as a 0. And 25. So I have that. Now once I've done this, I'm going to take a wide mouth part of the lid. This is the screwing top part here. I'm going to place that on top. And I'm just going to put this on here. And you don't have to go super tight with it. You just have to go to where it's a little bit secure. And doing that ensures that the seal will not come apart. Okay, so I have that. So now I have the oat bran in here. And this should last significantly longer with the air sucked out. I'm going to put this to the side. Then I'm going to take this, the wide mouth, take that off. And I already labeled that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the screwing top, and I'm going to put this in place, make sure it's nice and secure so the seal stays intact. So now I have these right here. I'm going to put this to the side. And so this is putting food inside of the mason jars. But you can also use this for something like vitamins. Say, for instance, you have a lot of vitamins and it takes some time to go through them. Now, this is not what I'm going to be sealing, vacuum sealing. This is an example of what happens when things oxidize. These are not supposed to be that color on the outside. I'm going to cut one of these and show you what color they're supposed to be. So I'm going to take the knife. So the color of these is supposed to be white, but due to oxidation, it turns a yellow color. Now, when it does this, it actually deteriorates the vitamins and make them less potent. Essentially, you won't have much vitamin if it gets too much oxygen. So you have these yellow ones. Now I have some more vitamin C that I had to buy because those oxidized. And so I have these vitamin C, and you can see I've been using these, but they're starting to oxidize before I can actually use them all. So they're not as bad as the other vitamin C that I had, but they're getting that way. And in order to save them or salvage them or to keep them from deteriorating at the pace that they are, I'm going to take perhaps half to 3/4 of them and then put them inside of the mason jar, leaving just this amount out to where I can use on the daily basis. And then there is the date, January 2028. And in an ideal situation where it is not humid, if I lived in a place that was not humid, these probably would be fine. But because where I live, the oxidation plus the humidity accelerates the expiration of the product. So with this, I'm going to go ahead and put the expiration that is on the bottle, which is 1/1/28. And I think this date is good if you've never opened the bottle. But once you open the bottle, it starts deteriorating. So I have that. And what I'm going to do is take the mason jar. I have a regular mouth on here. So I have that. I'm going to place this on top. And then a little something on the bottle. And then I'm just going to go ahead and press this. And this is going on. This is going to take a second to finish, but the smaller the bottle, the faster it should suck the air out. I also have something over here. It's called black maca powder. This is an herb, And this will probably deteriorate fast because it is in form of a powder, which exposes more surface of the herb to oxygen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave some inside of this bag, but majority of it I'm going to put in a jar for later. I'm going to have it vacuum sealed, preventing it from deteriorating. So I'm going to take this, push the vacuum sealer to the side, and then I'm going to pour the black maca. Get some mess everywhere in there. Leave some in the bag. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put the lid on top. And while this is sucking the air out, I'll go ahead and put the date of expiration. It says expiring 3rd month of 2026. So I'm going to put 3/1/6 black maca. So I have that there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and take this off. See, here's the vitamin C. See that? Going to put the lid, screw lid on top. Now it's important that I sucked a lot of the air out of this using the vacuum sealer. But you also want to keep these away from light because light also deteriorates the products. So I'll have that. Place this on. Oh, didn't place it on top just yet. Place it down. Make sure it's secure. It's saying that I have 93%. And we're in action again, and it's sucking the air out of this. And one thing about powders is when you're sucking the air out of the jar, it will seem like there's less powder than what it was before in. Because with the powder, there's a lot of air stuck between each one of the granulars. And so when I'm sucking the air out of this with the electric mason jar vacuum sealer, it compacts the powder some, which is a good thing because there's less oxygen inside of it. So just a few more seconds and this will go. One thing to note, it shows you at the top how many seconds it has been going. So right now it's been going for about 1 minuto. A little French for you guys. And I'm gonna go ahead and get my lid ready. It's going. It's almost there. All right, so at 92%. Gonna go ahead and take this off. I'm going to put the lid on top. Make sure it's secure. All right, so I have things that are vacuum sealed using the electronic mason jar vacuum sealer. Hope this video was helpful. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope you're able to keep things fresh for a lot longer now that you know that this thing exists. Have a good day.